Hello, this is Joe from Nerd in Korea. We are continuing our budget Kindred, looking at the top 5 Recursion Dragons. Recursion is so useful. It is much better than card draw, I think, because you have options. Really, the options are what is like key in this game. It is basically, it's like a reverse tutor, right? You're pulling from your graveyard in front, say, your library. But anyway. Okay. Please hit like and subscribe. It helps out so much. And also, yeah, if you don't hit like and subscribe, all of your draws are just going to be like, you're going to have like all land and none of the counter spells or anything you need. Yeah, it's sad, but it happens constantly. So what is budget? Usually I go $2 or less. This is actually $1 or less. Actually, these are all under $1, I should say, not $1 or less. So yeah, very budget. And we're using the TCG player market value, not a sponsor. No, not one bit. We're also on Facebook now, which is a mixed bag for sure. But anyway, yeah, check out MTG Nerd in Korea on Facebook. And yeah, hopefully you can contact me and give me feedback if you want. Constructive feedback, please. Saying this is trash doesn't actually mean anything. So yeah. Maybe don't say that. Number 5. Darigaz reincarnated 4 and then black, red, green. Jund, right? I always forget what that's called. Jund. Anyway, this is a 7/7 flying trample haste. Flying trample haste 7/7. It does cost 7 mana to cast, but like it's got 3 abilities. That's actually a 7/7 with 3 abilities for 7 mana. That's pretty good. So if it would die instead, exile it with 3 egg counters on it. So that's great. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it has if it has an egg counter on it, if it's exiled with an egg counter on it, sorry, remove an egg counter from it. Then if it has no egg counters on it, return it to the battlefield. So basically you can like, every time this dies, you're going to just exile it. It's going to sit outside the game for 2 full turns and then come back and then just keep doing that. Especially if you're planning to like sacrifice things for damage in particular, because it is a 7/7 already. Any kind of other bonuses you can get on it that turn make it pretty scary. And this is just going to be something you can keep cycling out and in, and yeah, be able to get a lot out of that. Anyway, 57 cents. Number 4. Scourge of Nil Toth. Okay, 5 black for this 6/6 flyer. 7 for a 6/6 flyer. Not as good, definitely, but let's keep going. You may cast this from your graveyard by paying 2 black mana and sacrificing 2 other creatures. So yeah, once it's in your graveyard, discard it into your graveyard, however you get it there, whatever. But it becomes like a sack outlet. And a 6/6 flyer you cast basically for 2 mana. Like, oh boy, that is useful in a lot of decks, especially mono black. If you're playing a mono black deck, you probably wanted to sacrifice anyway, and this just lets you do that and gives you something really big and scary. 29 cents. Number 3. Crystal Dragon. 4 white for this 4/4 flying vigilance. Vigilance is quite nice as well, but especially if you've got something where like you can make this into a mana rock, or you've got like a convoke deck or something like that, then this is very useful to be able to attack and then tap for mana. But anyway, that's not why we have this on the list. It is an adventure, meaning you can cast it as a sorcery. It goes to exile, and once in exile, you can cast it as a creature after that, which is a really nice option to have. Return target artifact, enchantment, or legendary card from your graveyard to your hand. Legendary card. Anything legendary, you can take out of your graveyard and put it straight back into your hand. Legendary, even like sorceries and things like that, they will do a lot. So yeah, this can be very useful. If you've got like a legendary, I don't even know what to call it, I guess typo deck? A legendary typo, it is a subtype, so, or a super type, so I guess it would make sense to call it typo. But anyway, if you call, yeah, my brain is overloading now, but okay. Okay. But yeah, you can basically recur any legendary you want on top of any artifact or enchantment. So very, very flexible, and only 2 mana to get that recursion in white is not a bad deal, really. Black is probably better and can do it for cheaper, but this is white. So yeah, it's an option you might not have otherwise. 38 cents. Number 2. Teneb the Harvester. So we've got 3 black, green, white Abzan. I love me some Abzan. I think it's like the best color combination for targeted removal. But anyway. Flying 6/6. Not bad. 6 for a flying 6/6. You know, it's okay. Whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you may pay 2 and a black. If you do, take a creature card from a graveyard and put it to the battlefield under your control. So, 2 big things there. You gotta do combat damage with them, and then you gotta pay the mana. Alright, so those are 2 hoops you have to jump through. Definitely 2 hassles, but grabbing 1 creature from any graveyard. So yeah, again, that targeted removal, it's really good for, you can really kind of make use of, because you're going to knock something off the battlefield, hit that player, pay the 3 mana, take that card. It becomes like, what do I want this game? Like, what do I want to have? Really? It just lets you steal anything. And it's the perfect color identity for it. So yeah, 70 cents. Number 1. Swift Warkite. 4 black, red, 4/4 flyer. 4/4 flyer for 6. Not great, but let's read. So when it enters the battlefield, you may put a creature card with converted mana cost 3 or less. So it's only 3 or less, which sounds very limiting, but most of the creatures in your deck are going to be 3 or less, right? Unless you got like some weird high CMC deck, which it was also very good. We just covered those, but anyway. Yeah. From your hand or graveyard onto the battlefield. So you can pull something out of your hand, automatically cast it, or from your graveyard and automatically cast it. And yeah, when it enters the battlefield, right? So it's best if you can like flicker this or something. But that creature is going to, it gains haste, return it to your hand at the beginning of the next end step. So basically, it goes to the battlefield for 1 turn. As long as it doesn't like end up in the graveyard again, you're going to be able to put it back into your hand and have it to cast again. So it's kind of recursion to hand with weird extra steps. Like, it goes back to the battlefield and then back to your hand, which is weird removal, or not removal, recursion. It's kind of like the 2 different versions of recursion that may be in the wrong order, but still. Quite good. I think in a lot of decks you'll be able to like, that 3 mana or less sounds like a limitation. It's not much of one. And if you can flicker this is insane, right? If you can start flickering this, if you can just pick it up, put it back down into the battlefield, and just get a whole bunch of things out of your hand or out of your graveyard onto the battlefield, they're going to return back to your hand. Great. And you're pretty much set. You can use that almost as like, maybe not exactly a win con, but you can use it to win. I'm very hesitant to call things win cons that don't say win the game. Anyway, 11 cents. The list. Okay, we got Daragaz, Reincarnated, 57 cents. Scourge of Neltoth, 29 cents. Crystal Dragon, 38 cents. Teneb the Harvester is 70 cents. Swift Warkite is 11 cents. Alright, take it easy.